Salute, General, Iro, Musa, Etiquette. I'm affectionately referred to as General Etiquette, and I've been thinking. I've been thinking about a plethora of things, but today specifically, I was thinking about emotional intelligence, right? What does that really mean, and how can one build and develop their EQ, right? So I grabbed the definition. Emotional intelligence reads as the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. Right, so let's unpack that a little bit. So I like that definition, right? So the first part is to be aware of. To be aware of, to make yourself aware of, is self awareness. And the way that you build and develop self awareness is through introspection. You have to sit with yourself. You have to first acknowledge and understand that we are all highly charged and highly emotional creatures and beings, right? We have a lot of things that we deal with throughout our day-to-days that affect and trigger us. And we also have a variety of things that have happened in our childhood that has impacted us greatly and shows up and manifests now that we're adults. With that being said, if you want to, and you should, right, it should be one of your great ambitions to get better, get control of, to be aware of. You have to sit with yourself and process your emotions, process how you're feeling. Take quiet moments, take those meditative moments. You have to sit with yourself and do introspection. So first you become aware of what it is that you're feeling, and you can start to deduce why it is that you're feeling that way, if that's valid, and so forth and so forth, right? To control your emotions, like I said, everything that we're saying, you want to be able, because we live in civil society, there are rules of engagement, right? No one is free to express themselves absolutely without reprimand, right? There's a way in which we go about living life, and because of that, you have to be able to mitigate your emotions and your expressions of self. You have to be able to control and mitigate that. And like I said, this is all step by step. It's sort of like arithmetic, right? It's accumulative. It builds on itself, right? In order to control your emotions, you have to first do introspection, sit with yourself, and be aware of the things that you're feeling and the things that you're going through. And then, like they said, to express, right? In order to be able to express how you're feeling properly, first, you have to be aware of. You have to do introspection. You have to garner a sense of control over yourself and how you feel. And then, right, you have to work on your ability to communicate, your ability to communicate effectively and properly how you're feeling in a given moment, right? So you definitely need to be able to express yourself, because the one thing that we see time and time again, relationships of all sorts, not just romantic, friendships, family, right? Relationships of all sorts, they suffer for one fundamental reason. People can't properly express how they feel. And so long as we aren't able to properly express how we feel, we're going to have miscommunication. You're going to run into conflict with loved ones, with friends, with family, right? With managers, people at work, co-workers, colleagues, etc. We need to be able to express how we feel, because we're emotionally charged every day, and we're being emotionally triggered every day. We're living in a wild, wild time. 2020 has been nothing short of wow, right? For a lot of different reasons, for a lot of different people, right? None of us could have taken it. None of us could have foreseen what has happened. But what we're all called to do is to sit with ourselves, gain a sense of control, and be able to move forward expeditiously and under control. And like I said, right, and then already started to allude to it, right? Being able to handle interpersonal relationships The only way you're going to be able to handle your interpersonal relationships, like I said, i.e., family, friends, etc., all of those relationships that are important to you, that need to be nurtured, that should be nurtured, the only way you're going to be able to effectively navigate those is if you sit with yourself, right? Do proper introspection, right? Gain a control over what it is that you're feeling and be able to express yourself in an effective and productive way. Now, we all know it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So there's a way to properly communicate any and everything, right? But the work comes in taking the time to communicate effectively to people, to stop, to read, know their love language, right? Look into the idea of love languages. There's ways that people want to be loved. There's ways that people want to be communicated to, right? What we often do is we love people the way that we want to be loved, right? And whilst that seems like a simple enough solution, it actually doesn't work. Why? Because that's an entirely different human being, right? Whether that's your friend, your sibling, your romantic partner, your significant other, the idea of communicating with, right, and effectively getting across what it is that you're feeling, why you may be in upset, why someone might have hurt you for whatever reason, right? Being able to do those things in a healthy, non-combative way will change the flow of the relationships in your life exponentially. Exponentially. And no one is perfect. And I myself, I'm working on that, right? I see how gaining a control in how I interact with people, it's changed the relationships in my life. It's changed my relationship to my family. It's changed the relationship to strangers, people I don't know, right? How I engage, right? Gaining a control over how I'm feeling, especially in those moments of upset. Especially in those moments of upset. I had a situation the other day when I had a disruption with my social. I had an incorrect social, and I needed that for a specific form to further me along in a process. Now, I was frustrated. I was irate, right? Especially due to COVID, right? I wasn't even able to stay in the same building and have everything I needed to be situated. I had to go back home. I had to email people. I had to call back and forth, right? But at the end of the day, normally, right, or previously, right, I would have become irate, right? I wear my emotions on my sleeve. But what I've been actively and proactively processing and trying to do is, in those moments of upset, grab control of myself, process what it is that's going on, process, is it their fault, right? Is erupting going to get me my desired result? Is getting frustrated going to make the situation any better? And in most cases, getting frustrated and getting upset and losing control of yourself, it never really makes the situation better. Why? Because people who are in customer service, right, they are not going to want to help you if you blow up on them, right? It just makes sense, right? Treat people how you want to be treated. No one is going to overextend themselves for the person who can't control themselves, but the person, right, who can grab control of the situation, feel everything they're feeling emotionally, do quiet introspection, gain a control over themselves, and then express themselves in a calm, stoic, right, productive manner. Now that's the person who's going to be helped 10 times out of 10, right? So I definitely want all of us, right, think about EQ. Think about your emotional intelligence. Think about how it impacts all of us on a daily basis, right? And I really want us to spend time sharpening and honing these skills, doing introspection, not just for our minds and our IQ, but doing introspection and tapping into your emotional intelligence, really taking that serious as a discipline, studying it as a discipline, really developing the habits necessary and putting those into practice on a daily basis in order to garner the results and the benefits from that. And I think right, we can start to continue and always change the world, right? If each of us step up and do our part to start pouring more positivity into the world, more love and positivity. You ain't know, whatever you put out there, you get back 10 times over. The law of attraction, man. I love y'all. I'm proud of y'all. If nobody said it today, if nobody said it, I love you, man. Tap in, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the video. If there's any topics that you'd love to unpack. Remember, this is a community, and we're building community through thought-provoking discourse. So if there's anything you want to discuss, anything you want to hear me tackle, anything you want to go back and forth on, man, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. And let me know, man. If you see me in the street, say what's up, but you probably won't because of the Rona. So I prefer you salute General Iro Musa etiquette.